Okay, we're just waiting for this to. Unlike most subjects, I usually talk about Star Trek. I wasn't planning, but bullies. Cinnabon Bunny's in the chats. Good to see you, Cinnabon Bunny. I hope you're doing okay. I'm glad you're alive. It's showing 0 viewers at the moment on OBS. However, on YouTube it's showing 2 viewers. So hello to YouTube viewers. We're gonna wait for a few. We'll wait a few minutes for some more to come in. Hopefully they do. By the way, while you're watching, if you don't mind hitting the like, if you've not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe and share this video. Tag some on Twitter. Who we were talking about the subject of bullying, and this person has been bullied, a lot in their life. That I felt maybe it was necessary. Hello to Cinnabon Bunny. Don't be afraid to hit the like, and by all means share the tweet. I've already got it up on Twitter myself, but it wouldn't hurt if you wouldn't mind obviously sharing this live stream as well. Get it out there. But as I say, go back to what I was saying. I wasn't planning on doing this live stream, but after a lengthy conversation with someone on Twitter today, I decided to talk about this subject because it's important. Because the attitude, I was trying to give this person positive advice, and realised that wasn't working. So I tried to give some, negative motivation, kind of rotten. Now I don't know if this is as a result of lifelong bullying, or this person just tweeted what they tweeted for attention and maybe wasn't being bullied at all, but just wants something to talk about. And I'm fine with that, but it is important because we've all been bullied, especially as a trekker. I think Trekkies and trekkers are probably the most bullied people on the planet. No, they were. I don't know if they still are. But yeah, number one self, I was bullied a lot when I was under 10 years old. Well, I was bullied quite a lot, mainly because of my heritage, because being half English, half German. Now, when in the UK, my mother being German, father being British. My mother was a Nazi whore. I was, baby Adolf or Hitler's bastard, something like that. Now, those are the clean versions, or it's got worse. It was also at the time, where my friends would say, don't listen to them, they're just trying to get in your skin and everything else. But when my friends were there and this shit was happening, I relied on them to kind of stick up for me when I shouldn't have. Not because they were unreliable or anything else. I mean, friends should stick up for each other. But for the fact that it was actually more up to me to deal with the situation than it was for me to actually rely on them to do so, because it wasn't their problem, it was my problem. And I never dealt with it. And it is a shame. But yeah, and it is a difficult subject to talk about. But as I got older and I grew up and I sort of learned the ropes of life and the different kind of bullies that they are, and I will be covering the different kind of bullies that there are, and how to deal with them. Okay, this is ranging everything from basically high school. I don't really think I got bullied much in primary school. No, bullying for me didn't really start until high school, really. And where kids are cruel. Now, I don't really hold it too much against them because we were teenagers, and I think for everyone, the teen years were a hard time, and at some point, everyone's been bullied by someone, whenever, at some point in their life, whether as a kid, as a child, as a teenager, as adults. Now, as adults, that's the worst way to go, unfortunately, because you're much more restricted as an adult than you are as a kid. Believe it or not. I know if there's any children end up watching this or going to join the stream, trust me, you guys have a lot more leeway when it comes to dealing with bullies than you will do as an adult. Funnily enough, it's true, because there are a lot of legalities that you won't really be restricted by as an under 18, okay, or as an under 16, in fact, where as an adult, once you hit 18 and over, that's where your hands are so much more tied, and you have to be a bit smarter, okay, because adults, especially adults who are bullies won't necessarily threaten you with violence. They'll be smart about it. They know how to get under your skin without actually you know making themselves or making it, so to say, apparent to anyone that you're being bullied, and they're very good at that. Okay. Now, so we're going to start with we'll start with bullies at school. You know, now bullies at school, most of them, you don't find they're 6 foot. Well, they'll end up growing up to be 6 foot stupid. You know, hard as nails but thick as pig shit. Okay, and these are the easiest ones to deal with because they might be bigger than you, they might be stronger than you, but they're not as smart as you, and you know having a good comeback or generally something about that person that you know is probably going to really get under their skin is the way to go. Oh, and I know this is advice today that a lot of people will say no, that's not the way to go. Being bullied, I think everyone at some point, either told the parents, and the parents said, "We're going to phone the school," and you were that terrified. You said, "No, you'll only make it worse." Your mother will say, "We've got to tell the teacher, we've got to say this and the other." The father will sort of, "Yeah, I agree," while the mother's around. And then when your mother disappears, the father say, "All you've got to do is go up to the guy and suck him. If he threatens you with violence, just suck him really hard, as hard as he can. He'll back off." Right? And to a point, this is true. It's true because bullies, regardless of what kind of bully you're dealing with, are not used to feeling pain. They don't know what pain is. They've never felt it. Why? Because most people are afraid of them. They're used to people being afraid of them, backing down, that they've never really had to get into a real fight. So that at one point when you've had it up to here, and you will lash out, and you'll hit them, they'll drop like a sack of hammers. You'll go to the principal's office. You will get into trouble. You may even face a week's suspension. A week's suspension is not the end of the world. But more than that, as more as your mother or your parents might be disappointed in you, you will feel great. Because one, you're not going to get terrorized by that person anymore. And secondly, you're no longer going to be a victim of that person. 9 times out of 10 at least. Telling the teacher does help. It can be effective. Unfortunately, though, teachers are also, at least in this day and age, are restricted by what they can do. They are very restricted by what they can do, because in the end, they are too bound by laws, right, and rules. Especially in a time where parents can sue a school or sue a teacher for because every parent believes that their child is an absolute angel. More so, the parents are bullies. Funnily enough, my child's not a bully. My child is innocent. He's a good boy. No, they're not. All right, your child is a little shit. Unfortunately, the teacher can't say that to a parent, which is a shame, because if a parent was actually doing the job, a teacher wouldn't need to do this. So yeah. But typically, when you're dealing with a bully in high school, they're not that bright. You don't necessarily you don't have to go out and hit a bully unless they're coming at you and you have no choice. That is sort of the last resort. Okay, that is self-defense. Typically, though, you can get under their skin and you pick something of them that they're probably typically something they're most proud about, because most bullies have an ego, and whether it's their body or let's say like your stereotypical bully, typically a jock or someone's into sports and they're working on their body and they want to look good. That's where you typically hit them, but you have to be smart about it. You do. Right? A lot of people say violence solves nothing. Well, that's not true, but it is the last resort. Okay. Now, there's some things you can do if you're at school and you're being bullied. First thing, tell the teacher. Probably not a lot is going to come from that. If it happens more often, you can keep telling the teacher. Yeah, that child could end up being expelled, and deservedly so. But that child will just end up going to another school, because by law, especially in Britain, they have to attend school, and they'll just end up bullying someone else. So, although it's not affecting your life anymore, the problem is still there. Okay, and this is typically because this kid has got this kid is either one, has parents that pretty much just let them do whatever they want without any consequences, and therefore they think they can live a life without facing consequences. That, of course, will not turn out well for them later on. Two, some of them are suffering abuse at home themselves. They're being bullied by a father or a mother, and of course that doesn't make them feel too great, so they bring that into school, and then they'll project that onto someone else, someone who they believe to be weaker than them, because they themselves feel weak when someone bigger than them, like a parent, is bullying them. All right? Of course, either way, you cannot engage in some sort of rational conversation with bullies because it doesn't work. They don't want to hear it. They just want to feel good. And making others suffer or feel bad is what makes them feel good, because that's what they've learned. Those who are being abused at home, of course. The other ones are just, and then you kind of got your sociopaths, the ones who know what they're doing is wrong and do it anyway because they really enjoy it. They like the fact that there are those who they can make people afraid of them. They get off on it. They really do. And that's not a way. Again, that's not great. It's actually pretty bad that there are children being raised this way. But there are people like that in the world. But unfortunately, it's not illegal to be a sociopath. Yeah, it's just the actions that they take that will end up becoming illegal when they grow up. Should the teacher obviously inform the school, the headmaster, and the principal? None of that works. What you can do is, with your parents, go to the police. Okay, because if the school can't deal with it, the police can. And the police obviously can't do much about the child, but they can do something about the parents, in some countries at least, or some states in America. Not all of them, but the parents can get a nice hefty fine. And then of course, with that, the parents will come down on that child. This has been known to work. It's also been known to have the opposite effect. That child then gets, even worse. Nothing you can do. So should that scenario that happens, and they come after you, and they're going to not just threaten you with violence, they're going to come after you. You have the right to defend yourself. Right? They might be bigger than you. You might lose the fight. But if you get a good few licks in, they won't come back because they know they're going to get hurt. Because most bullies have never been hurt in their life. They don't know what pain is. They've never felt it, most of them. But except for the ones that have obviously, they're bullies because they're being abused at home, probably physically and psychologically. That didn't make it feel great. However, they will back off eventually. Because I noticed when I was talking to this person on Twitter today that the attitude, for instance, I mentioned this person, you can deal with a bully in these different ways. And he said, as well as going to the police as an adult, because this person was an adult. It wasn't a high school child. This was a grown person. And if someone's threatening you with physical violence, you can go to the police. Have this person arrested. I said, and the response I got, well, why didn't I think of that? Well, that's a bit of a shit attitude. Okay? If you're being bullied, genuinely being bullied, or you'd be threatened with violence, you can go to the police and make a report. There's nothing wrong with it. Wesley Crusher says, can't stay, just say hi to everyone. Hello, Wesley Crusher, how are you doing? Glad that you're here. I hope you're doing okay. Good to see you. But yeah, these are things you can do as an adult. You can go to the police. You can go to a lawyer, and if you've made reports to the police more than once that you're being bullied as an adult, which shouldn't be happening because you think most adults, adults, exactly that. You don't go around bullying people, but unfortunately there are still some of those as adults, who feel like they have to go around making people's lives miserable. And I'm sorry for if that's happening to you. It shouldn't be happening to you, but this is the adult world, and there are laws. And like you, as an adult, this bully has to face the law. Yeah, there are laws to prevent bullying. Whether these are internal rules at a company, at a place of work, or the laws set out by the government. If you're being harassed or terrorized, is that you can make a report with the police. Sometimes there are instances where the hands are tied, and they said, well, until he actually physically does something, we can't do anything. And more often than none, that is true, because a lot of them will torment you psychologically. They'll, there are people who have figured out how to torment you or make your life miserable without breaking the law or breaking any codes of conduct at work. Okay, they can, for a good example, there are people who say, I'm working at a company and there's a superior who's, at a higher position, quite intelligent, and he knows or she knows how to use their position to make your life miserable. And the thing is, there's not a lot you can do about it. There is quite a few things you can do about it. Now, the first one to suggest is not the best idea, but it is a thought. Everyone knows when you have a job, it's a lot easier to get another one. So before you quit the job you have, look for another position at another company. Now, I said this is not the best solution, because you're kind of just running away from the problem. But there are a lot of people who don't have the confidence to face up to the bully or to make a report in fear that they themselves may lose their job, and that too has happened. Okay, so that is one way of doing it. Cinnabon Bunny says, oh no, it's that bully Wesley. Oh, Wesley's not a bully. Poor Wesley Crusher. Bit of a smart ass. That's why everyone tells Wesley to shut up. Shut up, Wesley. But no, I'm only joking. We love Wesley Crusher. Wesley Crusher's a great guy. I love him. What was I saying? Yeah, so there are very smart bullies, especially in the adult world, who know how to make you miserable without actually breaking any rules at work or breaking any laws. Unfortunately, they're the most difficult. But it says, shut up, cinema. They are the most difficult to deal with, but you can deal with them, and it's like this: write a diary. Keep a diary. Now, I'm not talking about dear diary today. Bullied me and okay. Write a time. Well, write the date. Write the time, location, where it happened, what's going on, this, that, and the other. And then you take it to the police. Should the police say, well, more often than none, we can't actually do anything about this, see a lawyer. Okay, because when you go reach out to your colleagues at work, especially if you're a guy, or you bring it to the boss really doesn't want to hear your problems. Most employers do not want to hear your problems, and it is unfortunate. There are some good ones out there who will deal with the situation, absolutely. I'm not saying there aren't good bosses, but unfortunately, a lot of them don't want to hear it. Colleagues will tell you just, man the fuck up, man. Man up, take it. Or, suck him one. I would. They wouldn't. Yeah. A lot of these people will, for them, you doing that will be a bit of great entertainment, and then you lose the job. More than that, this guy that you just socked, who's been making your life miserable without breaking the rules, has got you by the balls. And that fucker will, excuse me, I swore, that person will take you to the cleaners. Legally. The best way to deal with a person like that, as I said, it's long, you will suffer through it, but you're going to have to bear with it, is to keep a diary. Date it, time it, write the location, and let it build up over time. Then take it to the police. Not wrong. First take it to the employer. If he doesn't want to hear it, write that down in a diary. Take it to the employer, this time, this date, blah, 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 blah. This was the response of my employer. Then take it to the police. The police might say, well, we can't really do anything. Take it to a lawyer. And lawyers write some scary ass letters. I know, I've had a few in the last 5 years. Okay, not due to bullying. I'm not a bully. Okay. But Simbo says, he is a bully. He tries to make everyone watch Trigun. I've never seen it. Don't know what it is. But because I'm not a bully. I'm just taking after Bird of Prey 5. Bird of Prey is not a bully. Well, maybe, as the overlord of Kuroga. But, that's Kuroga for you. But, yeah. But as I was saying, all right, that's how you can deal with these people. Now, of course, you got, again, the same stereotypical bully. Someone who's sort of a bit bulky, maybe. Not all that, again, not all that bright. He's trying to throw his weight around or try to be overbearing and, try and make you do what he wants. Don't go for it. Okay? A lot of people, when they're afraid of a bully, they're scared of a bully, they think, you know, they'll think some of the worst thoughts of what this person might do to them. What I want to say is that is your mind. That is you conjuring up the worst scenarios that you possibly could, and that is your fear doing that to you. Do not be afraid of bullies. Okay? Should then it comes to the point they do threaten you with physical violence, and it does get physical. All I can say is fight back. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get bruised. But if you can get a good few licks in yourself, some really, you hit him in the nose, you sock him in the eye, his eye swells up, bust his lip. He's not going to look too good. Yeah, and more than that, after experiencing pain, probably for the first time in a long time or the first time ever, he ain't going to come back to you. He isn't. Okay, because he didn't like getting hit, and bullies hate getting hit. Anyway, these were just a few suggestions on how to deal with bullies. It's difficult. It is difficult to deal with bullies. And unfortunately, it's just the way it is. They exist, and if you don't deal with them, they'll never go away. Hoping that someone's going to come in and save you from a bully, or protect you from a bully, or that your friends are going to stick up for you, or that bullies one day is just going to go away. It's not going to happen. You have to deal with it. That you're being bullied is not your fault. If, however, you do nothing about it, that is your fault. I know it's harsh. It doesn't feel great. You're probably going to feel sad after hearing that. You'll hate me or hit the down votes on this video, but it's absolutely true. Okay? You do nothing about that bully, it's on you. I'm afraid it is. It's really on you. You have to do something about it. But hey, these are all just my thoughts today. Like I said, I'm going to keep this stream short. I'll probably do a proper video on this later on. Maybe next week. But as I said, I hadn't intended to do this stream today, but after a long conversation with someone on Twitter, that it kind of a little bit broke my heart, but also angered me a bit that this person wasn't taking my advice. Like, some of it was the advice I've just given today. And a lot of parents will say, who might end up seeing this will say, that's not the way to do it, don't listen to this guy. I've been through it. I'm 38 years old. I've experienced bullies, and I dealt with bullies. Okay? A lot of bullies, especially as a grown-up, will come at you. It'll be verbal abuse. Okay? You have to be smarter than they are. You have to have some good comebacks. Anticipate a verbal abuse before it even happens, and then conjure up some good comebacks for when you're going to need them, and then remember them. Right? And more importantly, it's not just having the right comebacks; it's having the confidence to throw them at them where it hurts. Because when they see that you are confident in what you're doing, they'll probably back off. Because they realise, especially if there's other people around and you've just embarrassed the hell out of them, they'll back off. They will. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to keep this stream short. I'll probably do another video on this subject later on next week. But yeah, as I said, this was just a last minute thing because I was speaking to this person on Twitter. I think they were too afraid to take my advice. And, they tried throwing, little quotations, as if they, the moral high ground. Oh, the moral high ground, before I go. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to use violence, it doesn't solve any issues, and violence begets violence. And this is very inspirational shit, and, it makes you look good, like you got the moral high ground. But all the moral high ground does is make you feel good about yourself when you're feeling down. It does absolutely jack shit. when dealing with bullies. Yeah, and you try throwing the moral high ground at a bully, he's going to look at you, or she, is going to laugh, and then going to come for you and tear you down that little bit more. And each time they tear you, it's that little bit more, and that little bit more, and that little bit more, until you be completely deconstructed, and there's nothing of you left but misery. Right? And it's not a way to live. Deal with your bullies. Right? It's scary. It's hard. It's not impossible, though. You can do it. You just got to deal with them. Yeah. So, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, unfortunately, I'm going to keep this stream short because I have another one coming up later on. But I probably will do another stream on this subject later in the week. And, yeah, I'll probably be, it'll probably be a bit longer than this one. This one's already been about half an hour. I had some awesome people coming in, like Cinnabon Bunny and Wesley Crusher. And, yeah. But apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all next time here in the Continuum. Good night.